very good afternoon. Thank you for joining me in this bicycle ride. Home early from work. And as you know, I will not directly cycle to home. See what the time is, 12:20. That means I have about 1 hour and so much minutes to make a video. In conclusion of the video I made this morning, the one you see before this one, the battery life of the camera is about 1 hour 20 minutes or so, 1 hour 17 minutes, 18 minutes, depending on the temperature outside. Topic today of this cycle ride: bike maintenance, or in goed Dutch, fietsonderhoud. I do the maintenance of the bike myself. It consists mostly of oiling occasionally bits and pieces in the chain, keeping the tires up to pressure, and when the tire is done, no profile anymore, or they break or whatever, I change them also myself. As you know, the front wheel is easy. You put the bike upside down, you have some nuts, make them loose, you take out the whole wheel. Take off the tire when you let it go flat, go empty, where you change the inside tube and the outside one. You put the air in again, you bolt the front wheel again in the bike, make sure it's locked tight, and there you go again. The rear tire is a all different story. It's more difficult to get that one changed if necessary. I have a bike where it's not easy to get it out. It's not that you flip a handle and you take out the wheel and it's okay. No. My back tire is also bolted in. Nuts. Take the nuts off. Also I have the chain guard, which is the closed one. It's the canvas one, so it's not that easy. To pull a wire out, then you can loosen the chain guard canvas part. You have to pull it out. Then there is a bracket to pull that one off. And also the screws where you tighten the chain with both sides. And then it's possible to shift the wheel to the front so you get some slack in the chain. And there is some handiwork with tools, screwdriver, you can flip off the chain on the rear sprocket. And then with some fiddling and some very much patience, you can get the wheel out. You have to take the rear guard or rear mud guard off, fenders. Well, and when you have the wheel out, it's also just like the front wheel, easy to change the tire. There should be an easier way, but that involves pulling the chain, loosening one nut. And then you have a frame. Well, a thing to thread the rear frame to pull out. To create room in the rear axle that you can put your rear tire and your outside tire through it. I don't like to pull on the frame, it gets bent. And also when you trying to do that, you also have to be with two people, because if the frame spreader slips, you will punch a hole in the inside tire with the axle. So that's why I'm completely disassembling the back wheel when I have to change the tire. Much easier. And also it's a good moment when you reassemble your wheel, that you can pull the chain to a nice tension. The chain is too loose or too tight. Well, it's too tight, it will not ride very nice. When it's too loose, it's a possibility that it hops off. Other possibility is that it is shaving to the, how do you call it, the chain guard. Well, I also have sometimes to check and repair my lights. My bicycle light on the back and the front. Of course, red in the back, white or yellow in the front. I'm still using a dynamo on the front wheel. When it's evening or dark, I can click it and then it will push to the front wheel and it will generate electricity. So there is from the dynamo to the back a thread, electricity wire, a wire I have to say, also to the front of course, and sometimes it snaps or whatever. Occasionally a light bulb will go out, change it with a new one. but that's not the biggest problem. I recently got a new bicycle seat. The other one was broken. Not normally where you see that the two feathers of the saddle is broken off. No, it was the mounting on the vertical saddle mount. Real strange. So I got a new one. A cheap one, a little bit too cheap. It's not the best saddle I have. Bike seat. About 2 years ago in winter, I was driving on ice, on snow, and I fell down, and all of a sudden my whole steering broke. Part of the steering bar broke. When I looked at it, when it was broken, by the way, it went. I did ride very slow. Didn't hurt myself, but the whole steering was broken. And I expected it when I was home again. Was all rusty inside, so there must have been a break in it. So I was lucky that I discovered it, because when you're driving at full speed and your handlebars break off, that's not a nice thing to happen. And I had to walk home from work. Not the best thing to happen. So I bought me a new steering wheel. Cut out the old one. It was a bit difficult. I have to have pliers on it, a little bit of force and a hammer. And yes, I did loosen the nut. So I changed it. This is the handlebars I'm still using. A little bit too long actually, where the plastic hand guards sit. You have some markings where you can make it shorter, but it's no problem. And now I'm used to it. Well, that's mainly the maintenance. So sometimes the steel rods where the fenders are made with connected to the axles, sometimes they rust that bad they're gone. You have to replace them. That's usual maintenance occasionally. Last year I blew a tire, the whole sidewall was gone, the canvas broke. Middle of the rain season, winter. That's the only one in a long time. I got my bike to the bike shop to change the rear wheel because I didn't feel comfortable to go in a wet bike changing it. and it was a nice deal. For about 36 euros I got a new outside tire, a new inner tire, a new inner tube, and it also put the thing on. 11 euros work costs. Oh, and also tighten the spokes and made the wheel go round again. The back wheel wobbled a bit and a little bit of an egg shape. So that's also very nice. I got a Kevlar outer tube. So all in all, a good deal. And also, of course, I will clean my bike occasionally. My, school's out. That's busy. What's the risk of driving by a school when it goes out? Little children looking everywhere.